Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to head out camping. I haven't really decided where to go. I think I'm just going to take the canoe and just head out there. We did have some rain this morning, so everything's pretty wet. So I brought some extra fire starting equipment and rain gear. But my plan is to sleep just on the ground. Either build a shelter or just kind of like lay stuff over me and sleep out there. I did bring a hammock just in case. But yeah, I'd really like to just go out there and sleep in the woods. It's something I've always liked doing, and now that we got this crisp fall air coming in, it's just made me want to do it even more. But we have had a lot of bears here recently. I've seen about 3 in the past 2 weeks, which is a lot more than usual. And we also have lots of wolves in the area, so I'm going to be camping on an island. This lake has no shortage of islands, so it shouldn't be too hard to find a camping spot. But that being said, all my food, which is very little because it's just me out there, is in a scent-proof bag. So that should help with keeping wildlife out of camp. I'm also going to be taking Lando, so that obviously helps. Just he'll at least let me know if anything's in the area quite fast. And then I also have bear spray and like shockers and stuff. Not tasers, but they're little caps that you shoot off, and it sounds like a gun. And yeah, I think that should be enough. That and a fire, just having the the scent of smoke going around. But I've got a new bag that I'm trying out, which I'm pretty excited about. I've been looking at this thing for a very long time. I'll talk about it a bit later and show what and how I packed once we get there, because it's getting a little bit late in the day, and if I'm going to be building a shelter or even just sleeping outside tonight, then I gotta head in to the woods and find a camp sooner than later. So I'll show you guys more about that when we get there. But if you guys are wondering where Peter is, he's actually in Montana, so his time here with me was fairly short, but it was just nice to, regroup and talk with him and stuff. But he got called into Montana to do some more filming with the X Overland team. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing, but whatever it is, it's probably pretty cool. So I know he's having a lot of fun over there. He pulled our motorcycles. For those of you who do not know, we have 2 KTM 690s in the States, so he pulled those out and was riding around, and it looked like a lot of fun. But yeah, so I'm alone up here again, which is pretty nice, especially with this weather. Just is the perfect time to do stuff like this, camping and everything. So yeah, I've talked too long. I really got to get going, so I'll see you guys in the canoe.
All right, so here we go. Alrighty, so the lake's calm. Looks like we'll probably get some rain in an hour or so, but hopefully I'll have some sort of shelter set up before then. I've got some family coming up tomorrow, so I'll have to. So this will just be a one-nighter, but that's more than enough for me. Just happy to be able to get out again. So to prevent me getting lost, because that seems to be a bad habit of mine, not because I'm not prepared or planned, but more just because I like to wander in the woods and often start looking at the scenery a little bit too much and not focusing on where I'm going, and then kind of wake out of it, and then I'm just in the middle of the woods somewhere. So this time I brought along Gaia GPS on my phone, so I can see the entire area on maps, and then I marked the coordinates of the cabin, so then I can find it easily that way. And then I also brought a paper map just in case that's not working for some reason. And on top of that, I brought a compass. So think I should be fairly good, but this time I'm also camping on an island like I mentioned, so I doubt that no, I'll just walk around the rim long enough to find where I need to go and then take the canoe the rest of the way. I've got 2 freeze-dried meals, but I did eat right before I left, so I'll decide later tonight, depending on how much of a sweat I work up, whether it's worth me opening the scent bag. Lando, you're blocking the camera, bud. Or not. Just because I don't want to, put the scent of food in the air if I don't have to. I have filtrated water, a few water bottles, and a life straw, so I'm good on water. Obviously brought some coffee in a coffee pot. I don't have a jet boil this time, so any heated water, any food or beverages I might need will be done over the fire. And like I said, with everything being a little bit wet, that will take a little more extra work, but it's kind of a fun challenge, so. There's very few greater feelings than loading up a canoe with your old doggy and heading out into the wilderness. Looks like we're coming up to a somewhat more open spot with less brush. So I think this might be where I dock the canoe. We've been paddling for a long while now, and seems like a likely spot. So docking might be a little bit harder just because the whole rim of this island is covered in this thick foliage, but Lando, now you're abandoned. What did he do? Now he wants to get back on. It's okay, I'll save you. Hey buddy, I'm coming, don't worry. See, that's why you don't jump off without me. Here, come on. Come in. There you go. Lando, did you learn your lesson? Yeah? No more going alone. Alrighty, so I think this is our landing spot. It's not the most accessible island. It's all either rough, high rocky ledges or extremely thick foliage along the shores that a moose would have trouble walking through. So this seems like the best spot. I'll prop the canoe right up here and then we'll hike into the woods. Oh, that's annoying. I made the mistake of placing my bag bottom down, so my back's a bit wet, but whatever. Alrighty. So I have a little bit more camera equipment and stuff inside the canoe, but I'll truck the main stuff over, find a spot, and then come back for the rest of the equipment. And we're off. I sound like, what's his name? Sam from the Lord of the Rings with all those cast iron pots and stuff clanking around, because I've got a coffee pot and then I've also got an ammo crate full of Lando's food. So that's all clanking around in there, but I've just taken 3 steps, and let me show you what we have to deal with here. Yeah, this is Canada for you. The thickest forests you'll come across. And it's all wet too. Oh boy. Well, oh, just lost my footing. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, whoa. Huh. Main problem with this stuff is you never see what's ahead. And you can't see on camera, but there's a fallen tree right here that goes down to about a 6-foot drop off. So, gotta turn around and go the other way. Somehow. Ooh. Wowza. Speaking of getting lost, this place is a maze. It'd almost be kind of neat to just plop on the ground in this brush. Like, these trees from the shore look extremely short. Once you're in here, you can see how dense and tall this really is. Starting to think that fallen tree by where we first pulled up is a pretty good camping spot. Might be. Well, I'll keep pushing ahead a bit and then decide from there. Whew. Well, back where I started. I think I'm gonna camp here. I went a bit farther in and there was, you know, some clearings and stuff that offered some pretty good options, but I think right here is actually the best spot, because if I'm going to be building a bushcraft shelter, I've got a fallen tree right here and then this kind of open spot here. So then if I, you know, pull the tarp or the material from the hammock and strew it across, or if I just lay some sticks and make somewhat of a roof I can lay in right here, and have already half of a wall, or 2 walls, because no wind's coming through there, no wind's coming through there, and then just build a little lean-to to sleep under. And then on top of that, my canoe's right here, just in case, and also there's the open rocky spot where I can light a fire, because there's no way I'd be able to light a fire in the bush there because of the bush. So yeah, this will be the camping spot. I'll take dead stuff like this, lean it across, cut a few of these limbs off to add a little more waterproofing, and that should be good for tonight. Clouds getting dark. Looks like that rain is gonna happen. It's a nice backpack. If you notice the 2 pouches on the sides, those are quick detach, so I've got a tourniquet and medical supplies, as well as like some food pills and electrolytes, stuff like that, all on one side, and then I've got a survival kit, fire starters, stuff like that on the other side, with a little foldable saw. And that way, if I have to ditch the bag for any reason and go lightweight to pack out of somewhere, I can just pop those off. They turn into like a little belt here, and it's everything I need to survive for at least, you know, 3 days. So yeah, it's an awesome bag, as well as the metal frame and the waist strap is something I'm not used to. I had a smaller bag, a 50 liter I believe it was, or even smaller than that, which I used for hiking for many years, and it didn't have the waist strap, and just, it was fine for day hikes and stuff, but once you started really getting in, or if you're doing kind of rucky style hiking, it started to wear out my back a lot. And it'd pull on my shoulders, but since I had that vibration of moving up and down on my back, it would sometimes rub it pretty raw. So this one's got the metal back support and the waist strap, and even though I'm carrying a lot more weight than I usually would, I don't feel it nearly as much. So it's a really nice purchase. All right, so I was about to flip over the canoe to stop rain from getting in it, because it's getting pretty dark, and there's already pitter patters of rain. But then I realized the canoe's hollow and would make a perfect roof. So I think I might flip the canoe on its side right here by the water, and then throw my equipment under and see how much room's under there. And I might just sleep underneath the canoe with it propped up, obviously. And then that'd be my sleeping quarters for tonight. And that way I could be closer to the fire, which has to be down here near shore. So then there's water ready, but then also because it's more rocky down here. So I'm gonna flip over the canoe and see what it looks like. Forgot to mention, but on my little excursion into the woods there, I came across a skeleton. I couldn't really tell what it was, probably a raccoon or a porcupine or something, but not the best sign. It looked like it was left alone though, so it probably just died there somehow. So I'm not too worried about it, but clearing some of the brush here, since this kind of is like a nice squishy spot. It's got a lot of pine needles and stuff, and it's kind of elevated into a lower section here, so I'll probably lay the canoe here, lie underneath it, and then I don't have a sleeping bag, but I have enough jackets to stay warm. I just need something dry to lay down on. So depending on how rainy it gets, I'll probably lay out that hammock and lay down on that to keep me dry. And I've got the canoe over me to keep me dry that way as well. So yeah, and then I'll probably get a fire going pretty soon. Not necessarily because I need it, but with these dark clouds rolling in, and it's got even darker since the last time I said that, if rain is coming, it'd be better to have a fire going already, because it'd be a lot more difficult to try and get a fire going afterwards. Nice. Perfect little shelter, and basically no setup required. Eh, Lando? Come here. Come here. Lie down. Lie down. Yeah, Lando likes it too. You're all wet. Wow. It's only like 6:45 right now and it is dark. It'd be just my luck to have a big thunderstorm, although that'd be a pretty interesting experience. I can't say I wouldn't enjoy that in some way, but if I didn't have camera gear, I wouldn't be worried about this at all. But man, just got a little tiny fire going, that's all I need. Just for a bit of light, a bit of smoke, and you know, if I end up making coffee or something, then this is more than enough. Hey buddy, got closer to the fire. Here's that hammock. I want to use this at some point as an actual hammock because I think it'd be fun to do some hammock camping, but I just felt like sleeping on the ground tonight. But I'm going to lay this down under the canoe. Bada boom, bada bing. And we are camping. Who needs a blanket when you got this little guy? Hmm? Who needs a blanket? So, I'm not going to bed right now, even though it's about 9 o'clock now. So I've been out here for 5 hours. And it's been some of the most peaceful hours of my life. Just, there's something very refreshing about not taking all the gear and just coming out here and sleeping in the woods. There's no hassle, there's no, like, not much of cleanup or anything. Just, I'm not hungry, so I'm not gonna cook. Like I said, usually I would, even if I wasn't hungry, I'd just eat something. But with all the bear activity recently, it's just better not to open up that bear-proof, scent-proof bag if I don't have to. I definitely don't need coffee since I'm going to bed, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do that in the morning. I am going to sit up and read for a bit. Just enjoy the night. There's such a beautiful noise of the wind blowing through the branches above me and going across the lake. So I want to sit up and enjoy that as much as I can. As for a pillow, I'll either use this guy's bum or I'll just grab my jacket, since it's actually turned out to be quite pleasant tonight. I don't think I'll need to wear it. A long sleeve is good enough. So yeah, sleeping is fully arranged. This is actually a pretty cozy setup. It's a lot comfier than I thought it was going to be. Just kind of nice having like a solid roof over my head. Of course, if it like started torrential downpouring, I'd still get soaked because of the walls. But I think if I were to do this setup, and I didn't take the hammock, of course, I just had like a tarp or something, or even just some brush, I would just lay it across the sides, or tilt this on an angle like that and then lay stuff across the sides with a little door to get in. Lando is one of those dogs that will kind of stay up until you're asleep. He just wants to make sure everything's all good. So probably won't read for too long because I can tell Lando's tired. But you just lay here and rest until then, okay, bud? Look at you.
Right now I'm reading The Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. It's a strategy book on sword fighting, which may seem kind of pointless, but it's a very interesting read. And a lot of the stuff he's talking about doesn't have to do with just sword fighting, but can be implemented into day-to-day life. But I've always been fascinated with different kinds of arts, and the art of sword fighting is something that's long past, but it's just really interesting to learn how people lived back in the day and how much importance a sword held to some cultures. The book is neat because it has all these photos and the Japanese translations, so it's pretty cool to see everything he's talking about instead of just hearing it. It's neat to read about somebody that dedicated their entire life to just one thing and what they learned along the way. Not much of a reader. I mean, I do read. I try and read as much as I can, and usually they're books like this. I find them really interesting. History books, of course, as well. For those of you that know me, history's always been my favorite subject, and I love to learn all about different cultures. And I also do read a lot of like old Western books. Louis L'Amour's my favorite. So whenever I'm riding my motorcycle, or even canoeing, I didn't this time, but if I'm doing like a long canoe ride or a long hike or something, then I'll pop in an audiobook or a podcast or something like that, and I really enjoy them. Well, there's no moon tonight. The clouds are completely covering it, and there's no stars or anything either, so it's just pitch black. Like, anything beyond the limbs of this tree is just complete darkness. Which is kind of a neat feeling, to be just completely isolated from the world and even from light. Here on this island alone. I mean, I'm not alone, I got Lando, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing stuff like this. I enjoy just only hearing the wind and the fire crackling. Well, it's about 10:30 now, so might start thinking about heading to bed. Lando went ahead without me. Just shows how tired he is. He's been running around chasing squirrels all day long. So before I head to bed, I'll probably let this burn down a bit, and then I'll probably just leave the coals. I might put some dirt over them, and then I should be able to just uncover them in the morning and not have to light a fire a second time. But I'm gonna fill up the coffee cup, pour water around the ring, and that should keep the fire from possibly spreading. We've had rain, as you saw, like I mentioned, for the past 2 days now, so the ground is thoroughly soaked, so I highly doubt that, but just to be safe, I'll do that as well. It's been a busy couple of weeks, but I'm glad I was able to make it out here and do a little camping session. It's going to be another busy couple days coming up. I've got some family coming up tomorrow, so I'll pick them up and bring them out to their cabin, and then spend some time with them. And then my parents are driving back from Montana, so Peter's going to be staying there and filming, and then my parents are going to be heading back up while they're waiting on some of their build to get further along. And I'll meet up with them. We'll come up here and enjoy some Canadian Thanksgiving together, which is on a separate day than American Thanksgiving. I think we're like 3 days earlier or something. But we'll have Canadian Thanksgiving, and then we'll make our plans from there and see what happens. Looking forward to seeing them. It's been a long while. I'm not exactly sure, like a month and a half, 2 months since I've seen them. So yeah, it'll be good to see them and spend some family time together. Time for Betty Bye. Well guys, welcome to the sleeping quarters. Lando's all ready for bed, right little guy? Yeah. And remembered I had this little heater seat pillow, or the heater seat, which makes a perfect pillow. So yeah, I'm all ready to head to bed. Gonna see you guys probably wake up around 6 or 7, and then start packing my way out of here. But what an awesome little trip this turned out to be. Better than I could have hoped. I was expecting it to just be a rainy mess, but the rain kind of cleared. It'll probably come back by the time I'm waking up, or maybe tonight while I sleep, but I think I'm waterproof enough. So good night, and I'll see you in the morning. Well guys, I know you can't see anything, but it is downpouring. This is one of the worst rainstorms we've had in a very long time. There's actually hail hitting the canoe, but pretty wet now, but I'm still staying fairly dry, at least the center of my body. Man, this is a crazy rainstorm. We got thunder and lightning as well, but we're fine so far. I mean, we don't really have a choice but to stay under this canoe anyways, yeah, because we only have the canoe. But I'll keep you guys posted. Well guys, it's 6:41 in the morning, so I think I'm gonna start getting up and packing. It only stopped raining about an hour ago, so that was a pretty steady. I mean, I was fine. I mean, I'm kind of cold, but easily bearable. Lando, on the other hand, has been shivering for a while, so I think we'll take him back. The sun usually rises. Oh, headlamp's dead. Sun should be rising within the next 30 minutes or so, but I don't know if that will do much because of how cloudy it's been. It'll probably still be just as dark as it is now, but yeah, I'm gonna start packing up. I'm fully packed up now, and just need to load everything into the canoe and head back. But I had a lot of fun. That was a very peaceful night, although I am quite wet. I still had a lot of fun. It was a really interesting experience sleeping under a canoe during a thunderstorm, but now I've done it. So yeah, I'm gonna pack up the canoe and head back, and I'll talk to you guys when I get there. Well guys, got family sorted out over at another cabin. Not my family, just family and friends, and they're all good to go now. I just finished unpacking my bag and everything and getting all that reorganized, which is nice. So guess that's the successful conclusion to another camping trip. It wasn't my first time sleeping just on the ground without a tent or sleeping bag. I've done that many times, but during a thunderstorm like that, that was definitely a first. That was pretty intense. It started around 2 a.m. I mean, it started before that, but it really got going at 2 a.m. And it kept going up until 6. So it was a really heavy downpour with a lot of hail. And I was dry for the most part. I think if I had done my plan, if I was a bit smarter, or if I knew that rain was coming for a certainty, I would have laid stuff along the sides or tilted the canoe depending on which way the wind was blowing. But this time it was coming just so hard down that it didn't matter where I put it. There was going to be water coming in. I was dry for the most part. If I didn't have Lando with me, I would have been totally fine. It just, since he was sleeping next to me, I had to move a bit closer to the edge, and so whatever way I was laying, my back got a bit of water on it. But other than that, I was totally fine. I stayed warm most of the night. Lando was a little bit colder. If I had an extra jacket, I would have covered him with it, but he was totally fine when we woke up as well. Woke up early, and yeah, everything worked out. It was a really neat experiment. It's something I'll definitely try again in the future, and try out different variations of sleeping under the canoe and different shelters built with a canoe, because it honestly is such a nice way of doing it, because there's no packing a tent, there's no packing materials, it's just something you need with you anyways, and the setup is just flipping it over. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I really enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun to film, and it was just really nice to head out camping again. As always, a special thank you to my Patreons. For those of you who do not know what Patreon is, it's a channel that you can subscribe to, where you can get all of my YouTube videos ad-free, and I try and post it early on there whenever I can, as well as just any information. The Patreons are the first ones to hear about that. So yeah, like I said, thank you to those of you who have subscribed to the Patreon channel. Your support really means a lot and helps me to continue making these videos. And yeah, I plan on doing some more camping. I plan on doing some more island stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, my parents are coming up, so we'll probably have a nice Thanksgiving together here. And then from then on out, who knows? It's up in the air. And all I know is there's going to be some awesome adventures in the future. And as always, I'll see you guys next week.